I am Pious, Kojo Backah, to our very first story. The search of a new trade minister has begun. This was after Alan Tremantin tendered in his resignation to President Akufo-Addo. But what should guide the president in nominating a new trade minister for consideration by Parliament? Let's get on to phone and speak to trade consultant Richard Ampabeng for his take on this. Grateful, Richard, you could join me on the marketplace. First, your thoughts on Alan Tremantin's resignation.
Hello, my brother.
I'm asking you to tell me about what you make of Alan Tremantin resigning.
Oh, has he resigned?
Yes, from what we are learning, he has.
Oh, okay. But as media people, have you spoken to him and he has confirmed he's resigned?
Well, he hasn't also come out to deny the media speculation around.
Okay. Okay, so let's go with that speculation.
Exactly.
And you say my view.
I'm asking your initial comments.
Well, I would not be too surprised if he has resigned. My only concern is that given the duties assigned to him as Minister of Trade, his resignation should have been a bit more diplomatic. If indeed, from what you are telling me is the truth, then I'm afraid Honorable Kojo Alan Tremantin resignation to me is not the best at this time.
Okay, so when you say a bit diplomatic, kindly break it down for us.
No, what I'm trying to say is that, you see, as Minister of Trade, you are in charge of all trading goods, all trading services, intellectual property, all standards and investments in the country. So if you are going, my question is, have we sounded those who trade in goods? Have we sounded those who trade in services? Have we sounded investment in the country? And you see, all these areas, they are very sensitive, and it is to the market. Already as a nation, we are having issues with our market. Talking about capital market, goods market, services market, every aspect of the market, we are having challenges. And thankfully, as the market started to be easing out in our favor, then this rumor of Minister of Trade resigning, I think it's not the best.
I am trying to see if you can tell me about the impact or what this means to the trading community. I know you've mentioned that the ministry he holds, is very sensitive when it comes to the economic development. I want you to tell me what this really means to the trading community.
Well, the impact will be heavy because why is he resigning? We don't know the reasons assigned to his resignation.
Well,
and the market is very, very sensitive to these things. And I'm saying the market will react to his resignation. But assuming it has gone diplomatically and some reason assigned to his resignation, then nerves will be calm in the market. As it is now that we are all holding this speculative about his resignation, and indeed, if it is true, then it should be actualized almost immediately.
I know how instrumental Alan Tremantin is when it comes to the 1D, 1F. Now, if what we are hearing is anything to go by, how would you say the president should go about in nominating someone who can champion those initiatives?
You see, my brother, Minister of Trade, though I can see, is in the belly of Ministry of Finance. Yet, if you ask me, the leg of Minister of Finance is trade. And I will say that it is a tripod. Trade Ministry, Agric Ministry, and Finance Ministry. Minister of Finance cannot do anything without the active participation of Ministry of Trade, headed by the minister. So if the Minister of Trade is moving around this time, indeed, if it is true, then one will ask, what is happening? And that what is happening answer can affect the market. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so in your view, who should the president nominate at this time?
I've already given you indication of who that person should be. The Minister of Trade is the working leg and hand of Minister of Finance. Finance Ministry can have all the financial policies and the macro whatever. If we don't have a good Minister of Trade who will condense these fine policies into working, we'll be joking as a nation. And our part of the world, we think Minister of Finance is the alpha and omega. No. Minister of Finance, you are only there to make sure resources mobilization and distribution. But the workings of the Minister of Finances is trade. Trade does everything. So you need to settle on a good Minister of Trade, and your finance can go to sleep because the Minister of Trade is doing everything to make sure export is done, import is balanced, and goods and services are at the helm of the affairs of the nation. And that's all we need to make our balance of payment balance in favor of the nation. That's it. Not Minister of Finance.
Great.
It's trade.
We are indeed grateful, Richard Ampamben, for your time here on the Marketplace, sharing your perspective with us on the back of the resignation of Alan Tremantin. Grateful you could speak to us. Let's move away and do the story. Some local business chief executive officers are bewailing the inconsistencies in decisions surrounding government's debt exchange program for an IMF deal. According to them, government should broadly consult the business and labor community for a firm stance necessary to largely support the Ghanaian economy. They spoke to Joy Business at the maiden edition of the Magdan Business Forum.
The problem I have with all this is that the government should come out one time after he's done his research with committees and everything and say, this is the way we're going, not change your position from one day to the other. Because pensioners complain, okay, this one is not part of it. Because this one, we are looking at it and so, why? Get grace with the full facts and come out and then explain to the people one time, this is why we're doing it. And if you have to even withdraw, come back and say that we had to change because we've realized that so and so, and apologize for it. Because you can't just throw any information to the people. It has to be on sound basis, and you, of course you can make mistakes, but at least come out openly and apologize for it, because this is not what I said. Because certain things, we won't go to IMF, then we'll go to IMF. We won't do haircut, then we'll do haircut. Really, that's not the way to respect Ghanaians.
All know what happened at the beginning of the year. Our debts went up. Revenue didn't come as much as they thought. New taxes that they thought they could roll out didn't happen, and then we were kicked out of the international market. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy where one thing led to the other, one thing led to the other. We got to a position we knew at this point we cannot pay. It's going to affect everybody: the country, private sector, public sector. Everybody's in it. It has many implications. There's liquidity problems. Banks are worried that we may not have liquidity because most banks, if we really implement it the way they've said, we won't have liquidity. So those are part of the engagements we'll be having with the regulator and central bank about how we manage the liquidity. Because if we don't have liquidity, we can't support the private sector.
And we think that what we're looking for, or what we need as a country, is boosting local production, supporting indigenous Ghanaian businesses, particularly in manufacturing. Government must come out boldly, support commercial agriculture, support industrialists who want to go into agriculture. What we've seen again in the past few months had been business owners who have decided to go into agriculture and then produce their raw materials so that they will reduce the reliance on raw material importation. Unfortunately, local businesses, especially in the productive sector, manufacturing, I mean, depend so much on imports, and over, 90% probably of manufacturing businesses in the country import raw materials. And these are some of the challenges affecting our currency, the stability of our currency.
And more from the Magdan Business Forum, Executive Officer of the Magdan Group of Companies, Daniel Macaulay, has lamented the ineffectiveness of local content framework for Ghanaian businesses. According to him, a strong content base for businesses will create opportunities and employment, as well as promote growth for domestic manufacturing industries. He spoke to Joy Business at the maiden edition of the Magdan New Year Business Forum.
Well, you see, we have had a very weak local content laws and local content spirit. For me, if you look at, we can go the Nigerian way. You see, we go to Nigeria, local content is very strong. And it's also about time local businessmen supposed to have a big say in policy. And it looked like the whole business community is sitting back, watching on to the politicians and government to take decisions for us. I believe that it's also about time we support government. We support government with our resources and our ideas. So for me, we have to strengthen the local content base. I thought it wise to bring some few businessmen together for us to brainstorm, for us to at least see what we can do to support the government. And also, if we have any ideas, we take these ideas to government to see how they can buy into our ideas to make sure that the business environment become a very enjoyable one. Let me use the word enjoyable one. Yeah.
Young people without jobs have been advised to harness their talents in the visual arts industry to support themselves. According to educators and business owners, the art craft can contribute to poverty alleviation and money making when used effectively. Well, in today's episode of the Joy Business Journal, Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong explores how some craft businesses in the Ashanti region have captured both the local and international markets.
After completing senior high school in 2014, Eric Dadzi was unsuccessful in searching for jobs with a group of friends. As a visual arts student, he landed a job quicker. From painting, weaving, sculpture, and leatherworks, these skills made him the preferred person for the job.
Works and some of our works, the painting works. I shown it to her, so I made a training to the qualities in me. So, I don't know madam for me.
Currently, there are slots at Eric's workplace. He has encouraged some of his unemployed classmates to join, but they are refusing. They lament the work is tedious and pays little.
At a point in time, maybe Musukase. You should go and find other job and then leave your boss, because you can't be still working with your boss and madam. You are growing, so you need to find a well-paid job.
In 2008, Aisha Apabezi Akwete, an arts teacher, thought of making a living out of her artistic hobby. She wove bags and gave them to friends. Gradually, she started charging for her services. This became an essential boost to her salary as a teacher.
Then I realized, no, this thing, many people are ordering. Many people are ordering. People keep asking me, it's nice, it's beautiful, I want some. Can you do some for me? And I made some for them. So it wasn't actually the first instant what I wanted to do, no. But per the interest, then I thought, let me give it attention. And let's see.
But her colleagues working in higher institutions belittled her craft.
And I met one of my classmates in the banking hall. He told the other person, oh, me need course back home. Me sumi course nibi. Then when the lady left, he came and asked me, now when you university, we buy now beton bag on ferry na.
Currently, a number of arts graduates are making a living for themselves. Samuel Ansu Jr., a packaging expert, has for about 11 years explored and tested different packaging products. He has been providing packaging solutions to businesses over the years.
You will realize that many of the students who finish packaging at KNUST end up completing and going to seek out for jobs. But I later sat down and I realized that there are a lot of our local stuff, good things that can actually be packaged and brought, when properly branded, can actually match up on the international market.
Samuel uses recycled local materials in designing sustainable product packages.
The whole conversation is also about sustainable packaging, where we use many of our local materials, using them for packaging. You understand? So, for example, on our stand here, you see something about coconut. For example, the coconut, after drinking the coconut, what we do is that we throw them away. But we've also realized that with a little innovation, that can become a storage for even coconut oil that can be used in the kitchen. Do you understand? So, those are the ideas that we are exploring.
After having taught visual art for 24 years, Aisha Abba Akwete observes the arts course has not been accorded the support and respect compared to the sciences. But she believes visual art has the tendency to reduce unemployment in the country.
If visual art is well taken care of, if the visual art students are groomed well, if they are really taught what they are supposed to be taught practically, and stop the plenty theories out there that are compounded on them and make them useful. We use the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain as well. So we are really specially made. We can create a lot of businesses.
Industry players are currently embarking on a project to encourage the study of arts. They are positive young people trained in the field of study can be gainfully employed, contribute to and benefit from the economic growth and development. For Joy Business, Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
This is still the marketplace with me, Pious, Kojo, Backah. Now, the prices of stationery in shops in the central business district of Accra has shot up due to the high import duties, as well as the city's instability. Now, traders say the high cost of stationery items is deterring parents from purchasing their items, thereby affecting their sales. They are, however, pleading with government to put in measures to curb the situation. Akofa Atipo visited the market and has come through with his reports.
A visit by Joy Business showed that traders have stocked their shops with pencils, exercise books, textbooks and other stationery items, but parents are hesitant to purchase them due to the astronomical increase in prices as compared to last year. Traders attribute the situation to the high import duties as well as the city's instability.
The business is still the same. It's still the same. Just parents are really suffering because Christmas every year. Parents are coming to buy books for their children because this is the first term, which is not normally the first term should be September. September they will buy that one in September and then come now. But this time, no, even when you are coming from the road, who said there is the traffic, there is nobody on the road because Obia General Okoche school fees, as up to uniforms, and everything has increased. And yes, as at last year, now the exercise book here 260, and then it's 700 cities. So, and yes, and yeah, better, sir.
I think it's okay, but it's like comparing the pricing to the other, the previous prices. The prices has gone up a little bit because of the dollar issue, and because of that we are facing a little bit challenges. And at the same time, there's also the increment of the duties at the harbour, and because of that, things has gone up. And I believe that the parents are not finding it easier way, to buy the items from their children. And one thing that I would like to, to say that we appeal to the government to do something about the duty. And if there's any way, any measure that they will try to implement to make the dollar come down. I think it will help us.
They are coming small, but some of them, when they come to do, you see the price is high, the price high. Some of them, the schools have given them the price already. And comparing the price from the school and here is like quite different. Just one CD. So when you give them the price from here, someone is buying one. You to give him to maybe wholesale price, which is not done that way. So that's what is causing this problem.
Chairman in charge of Top Road and Okainshi Stationery, William Adakwa, bemoaned the state of the business, indicating that if measures are not put in place, most stationery shops may collapse.
Some parents from the private schools have started buying books for the awards for the academic year. Things have become very difficult in the market due to the increase on duties at the port and the city's instability. We are pleading with the government to prevent our business from collapsing. We are aware schools will reopen from next week, and so we are hopeful parents will start purchasing stationery items from the 16th when the new academic year begins.
Akofa Atipo's report for Joy Business.
Glico Holdings has received an international organization for standardization certification for its operations in Ghana. Speaking to Joy Business, the group CEO of Glico, Edward Chase, said the ISO certification hinges on efficiency and customer satisfaction. According to him, the certification shows that the company will meet international standards in its work. The following report has more.
Speaking at a ceremony to announce the achievements, Mr. Chase said the company underwent a rigorous assessment process that include auditing as well as meeting strict standards.
ISO certification hinges on two things for me. One being efficiency and two, customer satisfaction. So we live in a global world, where business thrives on efficiency, making sure that you have the needed systems and operations in place that will make you very efficient. That is the only way that will make you remain competitive in business. The processes that we went through, the systems that we had to improve, the structures that we had to put in place to assure ourselves that indeed these are things that are being done throughout the world, and therefore it is also in line with our vision of becoming a world-class organization.
As part of their plans for the year, Glico said it is going to work hard to be noticed as a world-class organization.
We working hard to become a world-class organization, and for us that means a lot. And if we can achieve that dream of becoming a world-class company that will exist beyond our generation, then that means that we have a lot of work to do. And that is what we have started doing, investing so much in technology, which of course at the end of the day will reduce our operational cost, or which will make us efficient, and which will also make it very convenient for our customers.
So Glico,
we're pushing it for life.
One time Boza.
Boza.
And that's it for the marketplace for today. I am Pious, Kojo Backah. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. We've got great stories on that portal for you. Always a pleasure serving you. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.